Okay, the numbers are settled down, so great. Great to see you again, Dale from Prosperity. We've done a lot of these sessions and we can do more if individual teams want us on. And what a special guest. We've got Joe on, who founded Prosperity, and got to be honest, the first time we've met. So Joe, welcome to the show. Couldn't quite hear you, Joe. So yeah, it's great. What a success story we had last year at Holborn with Prosperity. It was fantastic, and I know that they'll set me a huge target, probably Joe actually, for this year. So I know you've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to pass you straight across to you, Dale. What's on the next slide? This is what we're going to cover, everybody. I'm not going to read them because you can all read yourselves, but that's what we're going to cover. Oh, and questions and answers, please ask them as we're going along. We do not like this to be lectoral, so you can either WhatsApp me or you can put a question on the bottom of here, and we'll do our best to answer them. So, Dale, over to you, man.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Chris. Always an absolute pleasure to obviously be hosting with you and showing people more what we're up to and what's actually happening here in Birmingham. We're a Birmingham-based developer. We've been going since 2007. I've been working with Prosperity now nearly 6 years. And just, it's always exciting, you know, all the new things that we're always looking for in regards to development sites, looking for the next regeneration story, etc. In all the suburban towns, the smaller towns, and looking obviously at Birmingham, because Birmingham is our baby. Just to kind of give everyone a really good summary and an overview to Prosperity and how we're set up as a business. We make it very transparent and easy for all clients that are, you know, first-time investors on this journey. We have a group of companies that are set up that will touch the clients throughout their purchasing journey within their milestones to make sure that it's easy, completely transparent, and they want to come back and do it with us again. So just to kind of give you an overview, first of all, this is a snapshot of our business. Right behind me is where we're all actively busy. Everyone's got massive duties and things that we're doing to obviously make the dream work, of course. But the brands across the bottom, Prosperity Wealth, first of all, is the sales desk and the sales agent that provides all of the sales materials. We're the company that kind of acts and works on behalf with the partners, and we're the client-facing business. So all of the fancy material and the sales literature, that's what Prosperity Wealth provides. We act exclusively for, as an agent for Prosperity Developments. So everything that we touch and breathe is an actual Prosperity site. So you can see the next brand down, Prosperity Developments. This will be the company that the clients will do their exchange of contracts with. So when you go onto the legal process and you find that you've got your purchasing contract, it will have Prosperity Development stamped on it, because that's the developer. And I think it's very important actually today to, you know, when you are looking for investment properties, etc., you want to be as close to the developer as possible. And again, it's a whole communication process. So if there's things going on site and, you know, there's communication that needs to be passed down, it's often great to get it from the source, because we know that there's different companies that act on behalf of developers, etc. But we are the actual person that's on the ground doing the deed in the different towns and cities of the UK to obviously make the dream work. The next one is Presbytery Homes. So again, when the projects are being built and then we finally come in towards the end of the process, we know that there's going to be an element of financing and mortgages that are going to need to come in play to help clients obviously get through that completion process. So we've got an in-house mortgage broker that looks after foreign nationals, owner occupiers and expatriates buying into UK property with Prosperity. So we don't require the clients to go off searching and scratching around to kind of find a solution. We look after that for you. And we also know that Holborn themselves have a mortgage desk. So we very much in close contact with Darren to kind of help people with their fact finds and make sure that they're comfortable with what we're doing when it comes to doing that side of the business. And then last but least, guys, is when we've promised these fantastic rental figures and these yields and all these different things that are going to be happening later on when the properties are handed over looking all shiny, one of the most important parts is making sure that we've got a good, reliable, tenant-facing business, which is Lamont & Co. Estates, which is a estate agency arm of our business, that will go out and reference and profile the correct working professionals to move into our properties. So as you can see, from start to finish, guys, we look after the whole journey. And that's why we call it an armchair investment opportunity when you get in with Prosperity. So if you want to do completely hands-off, we're here to help you have a complete hands-off, experience throughout purchasing with Prosperity the first time. Moving forward, and again, people today looking into off-plan property and in property investments, etc., always good to understand the track records and just understand what people have, the developers and what they've done to date. So since 2007, we have done these huge numbers that are just always growing and growing and growing. And I think these numbers are yet to jump up because we've got another scheme and a few more units that have jumped on there. So 41 schemes since we've been going as a developer. We're now over 4,300 units as a total. And this is a statement that I always like to leave with people. We're approaching 2,500 units for Birmingham City itself. So that makes us, Prosperity, the biggest homegrown residential developer in the second city of the UK. So when it comes to property investment and development and sourcing land and acquiring land, etc., we know what we're doing. We've got a national approach when it comes to our development sites. So we're a Birmingham-based developer, but we don't just look here in the city. We're always looking for the next regeneration story, what's happening, where we can find population growth, education, tomorrow's graduates going into working professionals, infrastructure upgrades, migration, all of these things combined, as well as big companies moving into locations to make sure that we find the perfect story for a project. We don't just pluck something out of the air and decide to spend millions of pounds to develop there for no reason. So we've developed as far as West Yorkshire and as southern as Southend-on-Sea. So on the Prosperity website, you're more than welcome to click on the About Us section and you'll find all of our pegs scattered around. You can see that we're very much clustered around the Midlands and the East Midlands, because that's where we've always kind of found great property and great opportunity to develop.
Most people know about Prosperity is your unique payment plans. And I know we've got not a surprise, but we've got a launch at the end of this. So hang on, everybody.
Oh, Chris, don't give them too much. Don't give away too much.
No. People are still going for their intermission drinks. Joe, I wanted to ask you, how did you come up with that idea? Because it is innovative, isn't it?
Well, yeah, thank you. I think I've been an expat, so I've been based in Dubai, and then I followed on then to some time in KL, short time in Hong Kong, which is where I kind of met some of the people within Holborn that we that we work with then and work with now. But yeah, at the time the market was very much around insurance-based products that were ultimately equity-based products on monthly savings plans. So developer in the UK and looking to expand our network, and then really the idea came from seeing kind of what was being sold in and around the Middle East and Far East, and then really just replicating that from a property perspective. So you could then do the monthly payment plan or the monthly subscription idea in relation to the payment plan, as people were with insurance-based products, but ultimately end up with a property at the end of it. So, and I've obviously as my history is all about property, so obviously I started out with a sort of building a portfolio of buy-to-let properties, sort of a very early age, well, before I was 20. So kind of the belief in that sort of long-term ownership of property as a long-term investment, but primarily as a long-term pension, really. That sort of, the idea of putting the deposit down, but making that a friendly way to put it down, an affordable way. But I know the question was in relation to the VPP, or at least I think that sort of dovetailed into when we then found that certain clients in certain locations had challenges securing mortgages. And as the developer, obviously, we're very comfortable and confident in the product. So we're happy to, in effect, lend your clients and our buyers an element of the purchase price, which is then paid for out of rental income.
And that's where I came in. I joined Holborn 2.5 years ago, and met Udell, and he went through the non-mortgage plan, and I listened to it and I went, hello, hang on a second, Udell, hang on, what? No,
where's the catch?
And that was, yeah, I did, didn't I? I said that all sounds very good, but are you sure? And that was Market Court near Liverpool, and that did really well. And then of course you not only the non-mortgage plan, you've got the 70-30, the 30-70, and different things. Anyway, I'm taking up too much of Udell's time. Udell,
that's okay, no problem.
I hope you're not going to go through all. I hope you're not going to go through all those locations.
It's all good, no problem at all. So this was a last-minute call, actually, and I thought I should throw this one in there because we're very proud of what we've done and just how the market has kind of progressed itself naturally while we've had investment, while we've had investors saving typically for their buy-to-let mortgage deposit. So this was a development that we'd done back in 2015 ending, called B1 Edward Street, and it was a new build development. But just to kind of show you and give you a snapshot of where we came from and how the market progressed and how the investors kind of benefited over, taking advantage of the off-plan model. So typically in 2015 ending, we launched this development. Smallest one bed started from around about 130 grand, 155 for the 2 beds. Back then, I joined the company, I think it was halfway through the construction of this site. So I got to see it complete, and I got to see, the clients celebrate when they had value increases, etc., which was amazing. So what we seen was the reservations back then was a 3% reservation deposit of the purchase price to secure the units of choice. So 3% of 130 you pay down as a reservation deposit. Ultimately, we know that clients for buy-to-let mortgages typically need to arrive at 25 to 30% as a deposit. So what we've done typically, because we had a building period of 24 months, we gave the clients this opportunity to do a regular savings plan, then to start this process where we're building the site. They can set across, a monthly installment every single month, no lump sum, to kind of contribute and save that 30% buy-to-let mortgage deposit up to the completion of the build. The beauty of it, which I'm going to go into in a short while, Prosperity will then do their normal process where we give the clients a development updates every quarter. So they're in the complete driving seat and the know-how of how the progression of the build is going. When we got to the end of 2017, that's when we had the practical completions. Obviously, illegal completions then take place. The values that were coming back for us on these properties, just from the natural progression of the pounds per square foot for Birmingham and the land values, were just out of this world. So this has always been a very strong case study for us. We've seen values of excess of 175 for the 1 beds and 240 for the 2 beds. And, that's just showing you, doing an off-plan model and typically saving your buy-to-let mortgage deposit, interest-free, no catches, going through the process, the natural progression of what's going on here in Birmingham as the, pounds per square feet are growing every year they're growing, etc. People are benefiting by not having the cost element. And just at the bottom here, you can see the rentals and the rental values as well, of how they've jumped up And again, that just goes back to the shortage of supply and the demand that's required in the city. So happy to kind of share that with anybody if anyone wants a copy of the case study. And we've got a live show apartment of the finished article on that site as well. So if anyone wants to see that, they can. Yes, Chris.
What are they worth now? Let's just say the one bed. Don't go through them all. Over in 2018 about 180. Put it on the spot.
Okay, that's fine. Well, put it this way: we've just launched Southside Residences, and the starting prices were 219,995. So the market's moved considerably a lot since then, and it's not stopping. So, and we've still got a lot of longevity to go.
Yeah, I think you've got some. Obviously, you know, the whole market's moved on in that time, and that's reflective of that. But I think one of the only key points I would add is, you know, from sort of that 2018, you know, we've had a lot of infrastructure in Birmingham, and really the city's 5-point plan of infrastructure and bringing jobs and everything we've seen since. I don't think that's probably not reflected in these values. That's probably just a sort of more natural increase, but we're only really seeing the benefits of the infrastructure play in Birmingham now. So I think it's times when you reflect on some of these early prices, as you do around the UK, you might have investors looking, thinking, well, you know, how far has it got to go? But you know, if you look at where Birmingham sits on a pound per square foot value versus sort of Manchester or certainly London, which admittedly is a market on its own, but across the UK, you know, we're still showing a lot of value in Birmingham from a pound per square foot value.
Yeah, spot on.
Next slide, you know.
Thank you, Joe. So yeah, guys. So into the nitty gritty then. So the USPs of Prosperity. So this is like the golden nugget, and this is the part that's you know, kind of sets us very different from all the other developers out there today. So we have an offering called the 30/70 payment plan model, and this is what Prosperity is kind of known for. It's a no lump sum deposit offering. As I was saying earlier on, it's a journey where we try and help the clients arrive at this 30% deposit level. So typically, this is how we stack the deposit structure and how we work the payment plans for the client. So it's a 30/70 payment plan model. On a typical example of a 219,995 units, you place a 5% reservation deposit to lock in your price point today. So remember, we're freezing the pounds per square foot, locking that price today. That isn't moving, and that's what you're going to be contracting on. Typically, when we launch a new project, we set a 24-month payment plan. I know with the more recent development, Southside Residences, this is the first time that we've been able to offer a 30-month payment plan, to give the clients an extra 6 months, and it brings down the kind of their exposure and their monthly outgoings on a monthly basis. So 30 months as a payment plan, then to build a further 25% deposit. Now, the reason why we can offer such structure like this is the developments are funded before we've even started. So we can afford to be flexible and give clients this opportunity to go into such investment products like this. Don't charge them any kind of interest or detrimental fees. Typically, they're just buying and saving their deposit level for their mortgage upon completion. So I always give this example that, you know, the kind of international teachers that we have in the Middle East and Thailand, they probably haven't got, or I've come across people that haven't got a full 30% of a 200 grand property to then whack down and say, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to start as an investor, as a first-time investor in Birmingham. But asking someone to do a regular savings from £1,800 per month to kind of build that process, it's a much, much easier, affordable process to do. And we find that the audience of people have now come from the tunnel vision to a much wider audience, which has been fantastic. Yes, Chris?
I think the other thing that I like, and I really think it's good, it's so adaptable to people's circumstances. And when I say that, I mean, if somebody, your example of a school teacher, has actually saved up £25,000, say, which wouldn't normally let them exchange contracts, but what they can do put that in, and then you work back the figures. So instead of that 1,800, whatever it is there, it would maybe 1,600 to make it even more affordable. So you can mix and match, can't you? Which I would think that works really, really well, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So if we've got clients that they found that they've got a little bit of a lump sum deposit or a deposit that they want to put in to bring down the monthly installments, we're completely tailor-made. We just set the minimum structure to give them a structure, which is the minimum payment. As long as they're abiding to the minimum payment, they can go on and beyond. If they want to do 2 payments a year, 1 payment a year, however they want to do it. If they want to save on transactions, it can be quarterly when they receive the development updates, etc. So, but yeah, the monthly installment plan is the golden thing that, you know, we don't go to someone and say, you know, pay down 20% deposit, you know, upon exchange of contracts, because 20% of some people's life savings is a lot of money, knowing that, you know, the product hasn't been built yet. So we put people in the driving seat so they know and understand with full transparency, they're not overexposed, and they get to see and understand and be on the journey with Prosperity as we do these quarterly updates along the build period. When we come to completion at the 70%, the mortgage desk will usually start reaching out to the clients around about 4 to 5 months before completion to start exercising what's required and what's needed. Obviously, we're looking at there's loads of variables, but we're looking at clients from all around the world. So there's different criteria for different lenders, making sure that they've got bank accounts and bits and pieces open so we can obviously get a smooth transaction when it comes to the completion date. So 30-70 guys, 30% deposit, 70% by mortgage. How we build the 30%, your 5% reservation to lock in, and then you're naturally saving the mirror of a regular savings plan, the remaining 25% over the build process of the project. We get to completion, your lending then kicks in, and then automatically we'll be on the case of finding you a tenant anyway. So your tenancy income will start covering the mortgage payments each month while you then progress and see your assets obviously grow in value. So that's the 30-70 model. No catches to it. Very easy, transparent, very straightforward, no lump sums, and it's just a great process to kind of follow to get to where you need to get to. I've kind of thrown this slide in. I know a lot of people that's obviously looking into off-plan obviously already know this, but I thought it's just a good slide to kind of just recap on, because we get this come up often when people compare completed against off-plan. So purchase prices are very competitive when we come to pounds per square foot. So buying off-plan, the competitiveness of the pounds per square foot and the values that we're setting and you're finding today that we offer are very competitive. So you're buying in at a competitive rate at off-plan level. Strong capital appreciation can also be attained. So again, the growth levels that we're seeing from the Knight Frank report and the JLL report, how they're forecasting, you know, the growth for Birmingham and what's happening. There's a massive element of growth that can be attained while it's not costing you anything. So imagine I'm saving my deposit. It's not costing me anything because I'm going to need my deposit to mortgage at the end anyway, but my value of my property is increasing at the same time because the level of the pounds per square foot is also growing, which is a natural thing, which is great. Resell for a profit at completion. So we can obviously help you do that as well. So there's no clauses to doing that, of course, because you're with the deed owner. Small deposits and stage payments. Obviously, you go out, you buy a completed unit, you can't do stage payments. You know, you've got huge lump sums and different things to pay out upon one transaction. And then for Prosperity, like we always say, the prime investable locations that we go to, we do a lot of research behind the towns, cities, and the market towns that we go to make sure that it's a place that's going to yield and give us a good capital appreciation, and making sure that there's a great story there as well. So that's one of the great benefits of using the off-plan model with Prosperity. More than happy to drill down more when people have got individual clients. We can obviously get individual Zooms going on, and we can go into, you know, a further depth and show them a few more things. A
question's come in, and I'm going to answer it, and you can add a bit if you like, or go. You do a normal plan as well. You do have products that, you know, are normal. You can put down your money in the normal way and get a mortgage afterwards. coming up to completion. Not everything has to be on the method you said.
Yeah, so again, the 30/70 model, Chris, is just the minimum term for what would be required for people to, you know, secure a great mortgage rate. So the 30% deposit, if someone found that they've got cash in, you know, and they wanted to, you know, pay the full 30% off, or if they wanted to buy a property outright with cash, they've got all the options to do that.
Okay, all right, just wanted to make that clear.
Yeah.
I'll just add to that as well. I think obviously different state. I mean, when we do the payment plan, it's very much based off the full term, the 24 months. So we're looking to make it as affordable as possible. But then at different points, people could join a development that's more advanced on the basis there's availability. So if they kind of wanted something, and yes, they've got some heavy deposit, but they wanted to complete earlier, they could look at some of our developments that may be 6 months from development, 6 months for completion. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kieran Bobkins just asked a question. At what stage do exchange of contracts take place? It's usually 30 days after reservation. Is that the same with you guys?
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we progress on with the instructions for the different sites that we have. So yes, of course, we obviously the legal process is just as important for us as a developer as it is for the clients, because we want to make sure that we've got a secured buyer in that position that's buying that property and going through the process with all the terms and all the different things that we both agree to whilst those paperworks have been signed. Okay, into the nice things now then. So Southside Residences, my baby this is our newest development in Birmingham city centre. So Prosperity have only ever had 2 developments that have been launched and brought to table within the Birmingham city centre's core area. And when I say core, I mean that little red dot that's right bang smack in the middle of Birmingham. Yeah, that's where this is. So obviously the city centre core is made up of 5 postcodes: B1, B2, B3, B4, B5. This sits in the B5 quarter of the Chinese quarter of Birmingham, just to the southern gateway. One of the things that's kind of making it really significant for where this site's positioned is a Smithfield master plan. I'm going to go into that in a little bit in a short while, but you get to see, you know, where we are from that site, etc. We've got a 30-month payment plan on this development, 116 units over 11 floors.
And it's done well, hasn't it? We've already done very well.
It's done really well. We launched in Q4 last year, and yeah, it's been phenomenal. I can't say anything else. It's just gone really well. I don't think we've got that many units left now. I think we're probably under the 20 marks now. We've still got a mixture of 1 beds and 2 beds available. So if you are looking to get into a prime location development, guys, where it's got bundles of amenities around it, the infrastructure that's going to be built and secured around it as well is going to be just the Birmingham. It's going to be Birmingham's hub, basically, this southern gateway of the city. So I'm just going to interrupt you again, because another question just come in from Kieran again. Okay, if somebody ran into financial difficulty, say 6 months after, and into a 24 period thing, but how does it work then?
Yeah, so this one.
No problem at all.
Might as well interact.
If you don't have a break.
I think. I mean, well, hopefully you can attest to this, Chris, and certainly, some of the other advisors and consultants within Holborn. We have obviously a contractual position, as you have to as a developer, i.e., they would have exchanged, and that contractual position would reference an addendum to the contract, which is the payment plan. So you've got that legal position. I think anyone that has worked with us and knows us, as we look to protect our reputation with clients and introducers, we're very, very flexible. So we're not. You won't find clients where we've pulled contracts aggressively, where we've foreclosed on clients at completion that have not been able to get there on time. So all the kind of the sort of the things that we can do legally is something that is not what we're known for. So I think clients ultimately talk to us, and that's partly where the VPP plan came from, where clients couldn't get mortgages, due to their circumstances, we'd convert them into, migrate them to another development. But generally, I suppose it's one of sort of three options. We can either sort of pause them, and then they can use those funds for another development in the future. In some cases, it's a refund, but that's probably the latter sort of. There's less and less of those that happen. We don't get many people generally that don't sort of perform anyway. But we're more liable to sort of move a client, I suppose, to a more affordable property, or pause their payment plans. In some cases where maybe if the delivery term has extended, we could pause it, or we could expand the payment plan to stretch it over a longer term to make it affordable. But we're not looking to disadvantage anyone that's in a financially awkward situation. So I suppose it's just good to sort of point out there's the legal position, and then there's our kind of understanding and ultimate wanting to make sure that client gets to buy a property at the end of the journey. And if that's extended for some reason due to their personal circumstances, then we would look to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, spot on, Chris. So I hope that's answered that really well. But yeah, it's that's how we stand, and that's how we work with everybody. Of course, we want to make it as good as experience as possible for everybody. Just moving back to the Southside Residences position and where we sat within the Birmingham city centre's core. So as it stands here, we've got the Bullring Shopping Centre. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. So the Bullring Shopping Centre and New Street Station, this is kind of referenced as the retail core of the city. So this is where you have people that we attract a lot of visitors that come and do their high street shopping. You got all your high street shops, etc. Lots of people will come into this part of Birmingham to visit. We know that slowly but surely, this Smithfield Master Plan area here, which is a big project that the City Council are currently going through of regenerating. We know that this is going to kind of expand this kind of city centre's core area, because they're going to be bringing more retail, more mixed space, office space, and everything else that's come with it in regards to infrastructure upgrades, tram line, and some other bits that I'm going to show you in a short while. So we know slowly the Southern Gateway, people we're going to be hanging out and congregating are going to be in that area of Birmingham. So having our development sites, Southside Residences, on the gateway to the Smithfield Master Plan is a huge deal. And I'm going to show you why it's such a huge deal in a short while when I show you the infrastructure of how it connects to the HS2. Just above the retail core, you've got the student quarters. So we kind of manage something looking after 80,000 UK and overseas students at the moment. These are Birmingham's tomorrow's graduates, working professionals here in the city that are going on securing jobs and building careers. Moving forward over to Colmore Row and the Snow Hill district, we have got the biggest financial district centre outside of the capital, London. And you've probably seen from some of the news that recently we've attracted some of these big brands that you can see: Goldman Sachs, PwC, KPMG. Recently, HSBC and the HMRC Revenue, Inland Revenue buildings have just been built in and around Arena Central by the library. And we've had the Paradise development that's kind of bridged the gap between the enterprise and business zone and Colmore Row. So this is kind of give it and made it an even bigger financial centre for Birmingham, attracting more businesses with more mixed space that's been built. X amount of working professional employees all want to live in Birmingham. So when you've got Prosperity that are building schemes like Southside Residences and beyond the city, it's trying to keep up with the demand that's needed in the city. As we come to this island here, where you've got the Radisson Blue, you can see that the skyline and the development level is quite restricted to a certain level. So there's not much high rise. So this is like a big regeneration jigsaw puzzle to complete the city centre's core. Yeah. And we're inside it. So exciting. These various car parks that you can see are different sites that have been waiting for planning consents. You probably heard about this one already. This is the Galliard Timber Yard site that's now built, completed and handed over. So yeah, X amount of residential, projects and things going on, lots of busy activity happening in this southern gateway of the city, which is really, really exciting. The Smithfield Master Plan, and I just want to make sure this is clear with everybody, this is Europe's biggest city centre redevelopment project happening in Birmingham. Yeah, and Southside Residences is on the gateway to the Smithfield Master Plan area, which is phenomenal. So, you know, this area is going to look completely different, you know, in the next 5 to 6, 7 years' time. It's just going to be unbelievable. As you can see from the map, we're very much a concrete jungle. There's a big push at the moment to bring more greenery, more public parks, roof gardens to the city as well. And as you can see here, over 3,000 square meters of commercial floor space. This is going to be working professionals, retail. So again, more population to a condensed area. So the lean on residential is huge. Anything else to add to that, Joe? I know that we always talk about Smithfield in the office, but yeah, I think for people to just understand the significance of what this is as a city upgrade, it's a big deal.
Yeah, well, I think there's never been such a vast space within the city to develop. But I think the only other point I would mention is the connectivity. So, you know, there's not very many opportunities for the city to have a kind of a blank piece of paper to draw a new area of the city to combine residential, commercial, retail, leisure. But obviously this was one of them. And what's happened there is the fact that they've been able to connect in this area. So, you know, the metro system, which is now live, connected up through commercial, retail and office, connecting the different parts of the city. This then connecting to HS2. So the whole thing really, I mean, anything around either Smithfield or Southside is within kind of a, you know, it's probably about a 4-minute walk, 4 to 7 minute walk from its furthest point to a metro link, which then will take you straight up to HS2. So, you know, certainly one of the most connected parts of the city.
Definitely.
Where do the Peaky Blinders live then? Sorry. Another question that came in. So
yeah, that's all good. So the Peaky Blinders.
No, I was joking. Nobody really asked.
But let me tell you something now. Let me tell you something.
We're at the Crossroads Hotel.
So an interesting point. Stephen Knight, who's the director of the Peaky Blinders, of course, they've just acquired a 36-acre site via the HS2 master plan area. So that's going to be located in Digbeth. So again, they're going to be building a creative multimedia village. So, you know, more working professionals, again, coming to Birmingham. But I think the reason why they wanted the position in that area is because they wanted to be close to London, but obviously not pay London prices. Being close to the HS2 gives them access to international talent. So this just, again, is just another big move for Birmingham. But yeah, these tram and infrastructure lines, you know, this is something that's never happened in Birmingham, guys. So when we're saying, you know, good infrastructure and upgrades and things that have been implemented in the city now, and you know, we're going to benefit from those in the next 10 years, etc. You know, it doesn't happen again in 50 years' time. This is a city that's never had it. So, you know, let's get on the wave now and ride the wave, because we're only going to see value increases. And when this HS2 hub opens, which is number 4 on the map here, I could be living in Southside, which is right down here where my mouse is. I could roll out of bed onto the metro stop here, zip down to the metro, 3 minutes drive down to the HS2, and I can be in London under an hour, which is just phenomenal for me. Phenomenal for everyone, even.
Udell, I don't think you've ever been out of Birmingham, Udell. I don't know why you're saying that. Never ever left Birmingham. You love Birmingham.
Of course. So yeah, so the significance, so HS2, any of you who don't know HS2, I'm sure that the majority of all would know the HS2. The HS1 was a massive deal for England, was the St Pancras underground channel tunnel to France. That was a game changer. The second game changer is the HS2, connecting Birmingham, the second city, to the capital in the traveling time of 45 to 49 minutes. It brings Birmingham into a zone free for traveling time. So this is just going to be unbelievable when this comes to fruition. We're probably looking at 2028 and beyond, but this is going to make Birmingham, be a complete whole new world, giving Londoners access to a city that's, been placed on the map, only a 4 hours car journey from every other location in England. And we're just thriving for it. And just the pounds per square foot and the businesses and everything that's going to flourish, and all the brands that we've been attracting to Birmingham on the back of the HS2, it's just so promising. It's amazing. So yeah, happy to have a further conversation with anyone one-to-one if they want to learn more about these.
People want to know about your new launch.
Yes,
I'm getting WhatsApp. I want to know about the new launch.
We're coming to it. We're coming to it. So the specification: lifestyle interior steels of Southside Residences. So satin lacquered kitchens, quartz stone worktops, you herringbone timber flooring throughout the apartments. We've gone with this rustic feel. Industrial feel as it comes from like the Birmingham Southside area, and yeah, loose furniture is not included. So we complete all apartments with, your fully fitted bathrooms, kitchens, etc., lighting, and all your furniture and your loose pieces are available through the furniture pack, through the lettings management company right at the end if required. So that's the product, a very, very lovely product, Southside Residences. It's the best spec that we've done to date, but yeah, we're yet to get it going, and we're really excited about it. So if you can get in, why not be in the central area of Birmingham, where it's going to be the hotspot of the city. Park View is another development that I really enjoy. This is a smaller scheme, not built upwards but wide ways, 116 units. We're offering a 24-month payment plan with this development as well, and this is kind of in an area called Highgate. So Highgate is kind of the equivalent to the Jewellery Quarter, but on the southern area of Birmingham. How it stands with Park View, we're literally still only a 15-minute walk, as you can see from the map, to the Smithfield master plan area. So all of the things that the Smithfield's going to bring, along with all the infrastructure and the tram lines, I think it's something like 7-minute walk to the closest tram line and Digbeth High Street. So this is also going to benefit from long-term growth because it's inside that Birmingham's ring road, and that's what it's all about, is capturing places and giving people the opportunity to invest in somewhere that's going to obviously grow over time. Birmingham is definitely not somewhere to get into and think that you're going to be a millionaire overnight. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, it's a get-rich-slowly scheme. So if you are looking to invest, I would say 5 to 7 years as a minimum on an exit if you are looking to build some great wealth and get some great capital appreciation. One of the incentives that we're running for Park View, virtual freehold, 999 years on the lease. So when investors hand over, they have an unlimited lease and they pay a 0 ground rental. So how this kind of makes us sit and positions us against another development down the road that's got 124 years on the lease and their ground rent's £350. When it comes to the reselling market, buyers are always looking for a great deal. So this kind of just positions us with strength when it comes to obviously the resale market and what the property's got to offer. A few more interior shots. So again, great specification, just a lovely product. Again, another stamp for us. And this is another big thing. I threw this in last minute, actually. The Ray Valley Urban Quarter. This hasn't really come to light much in some of the plans that we've been speaking about through the Birmingham Big City Plan. But we've got something called the River Ray, and they're going to be opening this canal from the underground and make it into like public squares and parks, greenery where families and people can hang out and enjoy some green space in the city. I've got a little bit of information here. So this is going to be helping people.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
Apologies, I've got an 11 o'clock I've got to join, and so I just wanted to ask the question, I think, to Chris. Would you like to look at any sort of questions or information around this, anything new launching, and then maybe revisit Birmingham.
We're all excited to hear about West Brom. That's all I know, West Brom. So, if you want to go, then Udell and I are happy to carry on.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah,
okay.
no problem.
I'll just wait till the end. I didn't know if there's any questions that anyone that had got for me.
Oh, I'm asking as we go along. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if anything comes up in the next sort of 10 minutes.
Yeah, no problem
we'll
at all. So Ray Rally Urban Quarter is obviously something that we can always revisit, but it's just a mixture of communities that's going to be open out, and it's part of the Birmingham City's next regeneration plan anyway. It's just the relevance what I thought
and price range on those. Price range on those.
Price range on those 24-month payment plan, and again the monthly instalments start from around about £2,000 to £2,500 per month. Anything from, I think we've only got 2 beds now at Parkview, which start from around about 270,000 995.
All right, well,
again,
we can get further information from us afterwards. Right, move on.
Of course.
Move on.
Okay. And then obviously we already know the Birmingham story at the moment, which is thriving. This is, again, we do a lot of guides and a few other things that we can help support people on a one-to-one basis. So if you do booking with your consultant, we can talk to you more about the Birmingham story and the regeneration and all these projects that are taking place while Birmingham is such a significant place to invest if you're looking to build wealth. Okay, a couple of brands headlining at Birmingham, which we know
we got that. We've spent
big moves. Okay, it's a lot of Birmingham. Okay, and then again, just going on to Birmingham's growth rate. So this is 24.5% growth over the next 5 years for Birmingham, which is very strong, and we're looking at a 14% growth in the rental market over the next 5 years as well. So that's showing you, you know how the city's performing when it comes to residential. There's certainly a great demand for it, and we're only 35% into a regeneration cycle, so we've still got lots to go. But yeah, happy to revisit any of that stuff when we come to your individual clients and clients that want to know more. So, Prosperity.
I tell you what, Udell, I'm going to just stop you quickly. Somebody just sent me a message. Everything that Udell be talking about is on the super cheat sheet. However, come back to me, go back to Udell if you want information on anything. So I've just answered. Somebody just sent me a message. They are on there, and we can give you all the fact sheets and everything you need. So coming soon. Is this the one I've been waiting for?
Yeah. So coming soon.
Thank God.
Oh gosh. So.
There we are, West Brom, is it?
Yeah. Right. So West Bromwich, we've got Transport Works. Earlier on in the presentation, we have 2 types of development, one which is new build, one which is PDR conversion build projects. Typically on the suburban towns of the bigger cities, we often place ourselves in good city centre locations through PDR conversion build projects, and these are often office conversions or retail conversions where we find we can get planning consents to build luxury apartments to obviously supply the demand in that location. So we've got this development that we're currently preparing, and we're coming very, very close to launch now, very, very slowly but surely. But we're going to be offering a bit of a unique payment plan with this development as well, something called the non-mortgage payment plan offering, where we do a bit of developer finance upon completion. I think that will become more relevant to everybody when the project is launched. So we're happy to kind of get another relaunch of a development launch once the project is ready to go.
What sort of purchase prices,
Yeah, so I think I'll get Joe to tell us this actually.
Before he goes.
Before he goes.
So we've got it's a Transport Works. It'll be from 119,995.
Is that 1 or 2 bed?
That's a 1 bed.
Yeah, that's
1 bed. Okay.
1 bed. Yeah, and then they're kind of peaking at sort of just under 200, which is for the all singing, all dancing penthouse. Excellent.
Okay. Well, the one that was really successful, I mentioned right at the beginning of the show, and it is a show, was the one at Market Court. And that was 99,995, I think, if I remember rightly. So, and that worked and was very, very popular. So I'm looking for, Can you give us an idea when it will be launched? I know that I pushed you on this, but I'm that sort of person. All right, Karen, I'm pushing.
That's fine. No, I think we are trying to get this sort of market as soon as possible. There's a change coming with the Leasehold Reform Act has made the sort of ground rents. There's some changes in ground rent that's coming, which has meant that we've got to just re-amend some of the legal packs and whatnot. So there's a bit of a delay there, but we're on with that in the background, and then we're bringing it to market as soon as possible. So I suppose, again, just before I go, I think the ethos with Prosperity is that there should be a price point for every type of buyer profile. So you've got your kind of glossy Birmingham, which I think Udell's kind of explained the merits of. We've also got our homes division, which we are due to launch alongside Transport Works, an additional phase, a final phase at Broadoaks, which has obviously been a very successful housing site for us. So 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom homes, freehold. And then this is the kind of, the separate sort of part of the business. So those are the kind of the 3 price points really. And then this is the sort of the PD conversion, very much yield driven, value play. So you have to then sort of look at outer Birmingham, but with that kind of connectability but ultimately similar sort of basis for investing there. Fundamentals being jobs, housing demand, good schools. So all the kind of things that we look at, but obviously in price points in areas where we can still bring a value product to the market. You'll note that yes, prices are higher than our previous development, which is now possible market court sort of 2 years plus now. So yeah, prices have changed, both market prices, but for us, as the developer, the cost to build and deliver product now is significantly more expensive. We all, I know, talk and hear about price increases and inflation. So these PD developments have become very few and far between, and sort of they're a real challenge for us now. So we've been light on PD and light on the lower end product price point for a while now. So I'm not quite sure after this what comes next, but we've certainly struggled to bring a product of this price point to the market generally, and I think we'll continue to do so until we see some normalisation in the construction pricing market.
Yeah, I think everyone's got to agree with that. We've all been watching the newspapers and reading what's going on. A few questions coming, but what I'm going to say is everyone knows how to get hold of me, and probably most of you know how to get a Udell. But if you don't, then just WhatsApp me, email me, whatever, and we'll get some more information. If any of the team leaders are out there and they want to do a one-to-one with their team, then we're more than happy to do that. Udell and I've done quite a number of those. Go, you can go now.
Thank you. I wanted to join today. Obviously, thank you guys for your continued support. Very much appreciated. And obviously we look to continue to support you wherever we can.
Thank you. And Udell, always perfect. You're always, spot on, concise. You never waffle. I love that about you.
I just get carried away sometimes.
I know you love Birmingham.
I get excited.
You do get excited. So this will, by the way, if everybody wants to watch the recording again with Joe and Udell, it's going to be on the website along with other first-class shows that we've done previously. It's my advert for the day. Everybody, thanks very much, Udell. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice breakfast. And thank you, everybody. See you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Take care. Speak soon.
Bye.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.